today. This is, I'm going on a bit of a stretch here, with these videos, and I am kind of getting to the point where, like, mentally I'm thinking, like, is this actually helping you guys? Like, is this getting repetitive? Et cetera, and just trying to get out of my own head and realize that, like, this does help people to see other people kind of just looking at the charts, really trying to figure out the market direction and everything. So I just want to say a big shout out, big thank you to those of you who do come out here every single day and do watch these videos every day, because it does help me, again, to just realize that, like, this is helping people. So if you wouldn't mind, if you are watching this one for the first time, or even if you are one of those people who watches me every single day, if you wouldn't mind just leaving me a comment, and just letting me know, like, how this is helping you, if you've learned anything from these, just so I know that moving forward this is still helping you guys. I don't want to keep putting out the same stuff if it's just getting repetitive and not being helpful at all. So definitely, give me your thoughts on that. I'd really appreciate it. I'm always open to constructive criticism. You can't grow without knowing if there's any issues. So with that being said, again, thank you. I do appreciate you guys, and I appreciate everyone who is new showing up to these videos as well. But let's just get right into it. So first and foremost, looking over SPY here, we've really just been in a lot of chop here. SPY, QQQ, IWM has been moving a little bit more frequently, but mainly SPY has just been in a constant chop here for the last couple of trading days. So I'm not going to spend too much time on SPY, because I know that, I know that right now we're not really making any kind of crazy moves. You can see on the 30-minute time frame, we're really just kind of chopping around. I think a lot of this has to do with NVIDIA's earnings here tonight. A lot of just indecision in the market. I think once NVIDIA's earnings come out, the latter end of this week, we do have GDP, I believe, on Thursday, and then PCE index pricing on Friday. So two kind of market moving datas. I think that once we get NVIDIA's earnings out and then start moving into those data pieces, I think we'll start to see a little bit more volatility in the market. Maybe some better moves out of the whole market as a whole right now. But you can see, like, obviously we're pretty much just trading in this little range here, with slight breakdowns out of it, slight break up out of it. So basically from about the 557s to the 562s, a nice little $5 range. And we haven't really broken it. We've kind of just been stuck in here. So those are the larger levels that I'm really watching on SPY. To see, like, which one's going to break first, to give us a little bit more insight into a larger move. Overall, again, nothing has changed from yesterday or the day before. Like, we're still overall in a very, nice uptrend, kind of just more consolidation. As of right now, again, looking at 562.56, 562.60 as our kind of upside level to get a push towards that. Looks like about 564 and then maybe 565 after that. I would honestly, for upside wise, I'm going to keep that as my short-term level. I'm not really looking at calls until we break that 562.56, 562.60, and then same thing for downside. You can probably take downside with a break of that 560 level, 560 psychological. Give you, like, again, nothing crazy, maybe $1, maybe $1.50 move down. So the margins on SPY right now for risk to reward are really not that great. So I encourage people, if you're open to trying new stocks, maybe to use this time, specifically like on a day like today, to start looking at other stocks to trade. I have a couple of my faves here. Bill, don't look at PBR is one that I'm actually just working on a play for, so I put it here so I don't lose it. Bill, Starbucks, Upstart, Coin, DraftKings, Shop, Roku. These are ones that I think have, like, good price movement, and you can really find some nice setups with them. So I really encourage people to branch out and start looking at, other stocks to trade. But yeah, like I said, right now 562.60 upside, and then downside at 559.77. Those are really the only levels on SPY I'm kind of paying attention to at the moment. Now QQQ has a little bit different of a setup here. I have a bunch of this stuff going on here, but overall, the one thing I want you guys to look at here is just this kind of pinching that we got going on. We're just kind of trending to the downside, a downtrend, if you will, on these smaller time frames, the 15, 30 minute, 1 hour, etc. Almost kind of flagging, if you will. So, we pull back down, we consolidated down to the 200 EMA there, even on the hourly here, and price action is starting to get a little bit of a bounce. Again, just like SPY in a way, until NVIDIA's earnings come out and we start seeing some data coming out, I think the market's kind of in limbo right now with what to do, what direction is the right direction. So I wouldn't get too married to a side in this scenario. Right now, 477, looks like just about 478 can give us a nice little move back up towards what would have been, I think, Monday's highs. Monday's highs there about 480. That's kind of the level I'm waiting for a break for a possible little scalp day trade. And then downside, we have this kind of area here intraday yesterday at 475. 475 breakdown can again give us maybe like $1.50, $2 range. So the ETFs aren't offering a whole lot of R risk to reward. So just be careful trading those right now and overstaying your welcome. Really, that's the biggest thing, is try not to overstay your welcome in these at the moment, because I think they're not yielding the returns. IWM as of right now is not looking amazing. I'll say IWM is kind of looking short term a little more bearish. Now let me get rid of this fair value gap. We all know there's a fair value gap, with this candle here that we're pretty much filling, or just about filled at this point. At this moment right now, if I was to look at IWM and try and figure out like what direction we might go in, or just in general like where would be a good entry, we had that push off of, I forget what the news was on Monday, but we had that push there, and you can see with the Fibonacci retracement from the bottom of that push, basically from the breakout to the top that we've created ever since we've started consolidating down, we're right in this golden zone right now for the buyers. So if there's ever a spot for the buyers to try and bounce it, it's going to be like right in here. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there, is like I'm leaning towards upside. I don't love this the way that this has been trending down. I think it's not too healthy. Just a very, I don't know, it's kind of broadening almost on the downside here. But if we can get a bounce and maintain this 218 level that we've kind of been stuck within, I think there's a potential for a double bottom within this region. So IWM there, that's kind of what I'm looking at as far as plan for it. Levels wise, if we want like a strategic level to break above, we need to see 219.40. 219.40, that kind of intraday, basically the high of day yesterday. If that can break, we did kind of gap down overnight right here. So we have a little bit of space up to the 220.5 area. And that would be, generally my target, 220 to 225. Sorry, 220 to 220.5 on IWM. As far as the Magnificent Seven, like we were talking about, we have NVIDIA earnings here today, tonight actually. So what I was actually toying with the idea of here is, everyone on NVIDIA is very bullish right now, I think. They're either very bullish or very bearish, and I think the only thing that would make sense for the market makers to do here is either to trade it flat or push it to the downside briefly. Make everyone think that this is getting ready to really turn bearish, pull it back down to kind of the support we've created from, back here we made a support, we pushed up, came back down, retested it, pushed up, wicked down on it, pushed up. We have the spot here at about 118 to 119. I think it would make sense for them to push it down towards this area. It would give the stock overall a solid 7 to 8% move down, which is a typical earnings move. And then it would set up a nice big bear trap to push it back to all-time highs. I mean, NVIDIA is, unfortunately, it is the future. Like, there's a lot of people, a lot of investors getting into this because they're still way under their evaluation in terms of market cap, in the next however many years it is. And the only way to get there is for their stock price to keep moving up. And I think people are still going to keep flocking this one and putting their money into it. And they're just waiting for a nice dip opportunity to do so. So 118, 119, if we can get a push down on earnings there, and then we get good GDP data, that could easily propel this thing back up, or even good PCE data if we want to, kind of chop around on GDP. Good PCE data could really push this one up, and that's kind of my plan with it. As far as AMD, I'm going to go over AMD here because AMD is also, you know, part of that semiconductor family. So if we get a push on NVIDIA or pull back down on NVIDIA, we're likely to see a mimicking style trade on AMD. So if we get a sympathy pull down on AMD, this general area right here would be what I'm watching for, you know, down in that like mid 140s to like 146, 147, possibly for a bounce. You know, again, if we look at this just from a Fibonacci standpoint, from the break up, I mean, we could honestly draw this from right here. You know, that would put us basically from the swing low to the swing high right now on the daily. It would put us right at that 38% zone, which, if you know retracements, 38% holds a good bit of weight as a kind of bounce area, at least for a brief bounce. You know, I'm not expecting this to bounce, you know, to new all-time highs, but maybe a bounce here to push us back into the 150s momentarily could be in store. But a lot of uncertainty with those ones, just because we have to kind of wait and see what happens with earnings here tonight. Both these stocks, NVIDIA, AMD, are likely to kind of just chop around today. Maybe push a high and then bounce, you know, pull back down, or push a low and then pull back up and just kind of chop, kill premiums before the earnings call. So that's essentially what I've got for you guys today. Again, just so much uncertainty in the market. If there was ever a time, ever a day for you guys to not trade at all, I think today could be that day. Just my opinion. So hopefully you guys didn't like the video. If you did, leave a like. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you are someone who's been here for a little bit, wouldn't mind sharing your thoughts, just how things are going with my videos, what you like, what you don't like, etc. I'm really looking for some nice engagement. I'd like to just hear from you guys, hear your voice. And then, of course, if you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button if you like what you see. You know, we're going to keep evolving, keep just moving this content up. And yeah, I'm really excited for the future. I'm super happy that you guys are, you know, even watching my videos in the first place. So appreciate you guys there. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Have a good one.